All right, episode 9 of Iron Fist. I am getting there. I have 4 more episodes to do. I will be honest, this was actually a pretty decent episode. It might be the best episode. Like, the best one so far was that RZA directed one where he was challenged by all those people and stuff. It was like a 7 out of 10. The highest it was a 7 out of 10. This one might be a 7.5. It was actually a pretty decent episode. I would even say good. It was a good episode. So episode 9, of course these are spoilers. I'm going through the episodes point by point, pretty much when they happened too, because I wrote them down as they were happening in my phone right here. So first things first, Harold, played by David Winham, is alive. He's back. My boy's back. A couple episodes ago, he was killed by his son Ward, that piece of fuck. And seemingly he was dead for good. Like, they were just killing him and getting rid of him. And even the last episode, they don't really mention Harold that much. They have a scene where, like, Danny's like, where'd he go? And then Ward's like, I don't know. And there's blood there. And they're like, oh no, he's dead. Moving on. I really thought they were just trying to get rid of him because maybe they wrote themselves in a hole and they were just like, I don't know, what are we doing with this Harold guy? I don't know, kill him, I guess. But it looks like he's back, and his stuff is actually pretty interesting, but I'll get to that as I go on. But it starts off with Harold just waking up in that swamp that Ward ditched him in after murdering him, and he's just like, what the fuck? He has like a knife in his gut. I guess Ward, stupidly enough, left the knife in him. Like, if police found him, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't wearing gloves when he was stabbing Harold, they would have easily linked that to him, but also they would have been like, wait, hold on, this guy's been dead for 15 years, this is weird. So either way, it would have been weird. But Harold is alive, and he comes out and he's stumbling around. At first, it seems like he doesn't know what he's doing, and yeah, like or not what he's doing. He doesn't know where he is. He seems confused. So it goes on from there. We go back to the Madame Gao thing. Danny, Colleen, and Claire kidnapped Madame Gao in the last episode. So now we have her in the dojo because I guess that's the only place they can go. Joe. But all right, they have to get the truth out of Madame Gao because Danny wants to know about his father, and Madame Gao said she knows about his father and, you know, his past or whatever. So Claire says, you know what, we can make a truth serum, which I know is a real thing. But when she said truth serum, I was like, oh really? Come on. So Danny has to go to Rand Industries or Enterprises or whatever to go and get the stuff to make the. Which, wait, well, why does he go to Rand? Does he go to Rand Industries? He goes somewhere, he breaks into somewhere, and someone recognizes him. So, it's in Rand Enterprises or somewhere else that Danny met someone from. So, I don't, to be honest, I'm confused. But it doesn't matter. He breaks in to go get the stuff, whatever. Joy blames Danny for getting fired, which I guess makes sense, because immediately when Danny started, he made a couple dumb decisions, and then they were gone. So it makes sense. But Joy is becoming that character where she just walks around and blames people, even though she does shitty things all the time, especially in episode, 1, when she drugged Danny. So she does shitty things all the time, and she kind of points the finger a lot. Harold is crazy. I wrote that. That was a thing I wrote. Harold is crazy. He's stumbling around. He's like, where am I? There's a bunch of kids playing in the road with the fire extinguisher, and the fire hydrant unscrewed. So they're just playing in the water. He comes out. He's like, he's pretty much walking into the water because I guess he's crazy. So he's insane. He goes to a park and he's like, what's that? To like a hot dog vendor. He's like, these are hot dogs and pretzels. And he sticks his hand in like the hot dog in the water with the hot dogs. He burns himself and he starts throwing up sludge that he had in him from when he was in the swamp. So there's a lot of weird stuff that's happening. You find out that Harold has actually changed a bit because his character is going around. He's like, what's going on? Oh, he doesn't know. And then he starts realizing who he is, and then you get the sense that he's going to be a main villain later on. Maybe not in this season, but in future seasons, maybe, or if there is another season. But I could see them kind of wrapping up his story later on. But it seems like he's becoming more of a villain. He's actually changed since he died. Before, he was kind of like, he was still straightforward. He was like, not evil, but he was a businessman, but he wasn't evil. Now it looks like they're going the he's evil route now, which is a little annoying, but I like that character anyway, so I'll follow that. Madame Gao messes with Claire and Colleen. Madame Gao is strapped to a chair in the dojo, and Colleen and Claire are watching him, so she's talking to Claire saying, like, you have no business, you have no place You know, all you do is help people, and then they move on and stuff. You have no place here. And then Colleen shows up, and she says something about, like, your father would be disappointed or some shit like that. And then Colleen just passes out. So you're like, okay, I guess Colleen's sick. So that's that scene. Next, you follow some guy, some bald-headed dude. Well, he's not bald, but he crew-cut headed dude. And you follow him as he looks off and just stares at stuff. And he goes to some, I don't know, food truck and knocks out some black dude. And starts wrapping up tinfoil to look like ninja stars. And he starts using those to throw at the black dude that's against the wall. And he's like missing them, but he's like doing kind of like just, I don't know. I call him the tinfoil ninja star guy. It's very weird. And they don't really explain who that guy is. I'm sure they will in future episodes or the next episode most likely. Harold almost kills Ward. Harold goes back to his old apartment that he had where he stays in a secret, and Ward shows up, and Ward is very surprised to see his father still alive, but not too surprised because he knows that, you know, the hand had a big part of him coming back, so he's not that surprised. But Harold almost kills him. He has a knife like really close to Ward, and it looks like he's about to, and obviously they don't. You could have predicted that pretty much. Like, oh, he's not going to kill his son. He drops the knife and like hugs him and stuff and says, "I'm so sorry" and stuff. Madame Gao truth serum scene. You find out that whatever Madame Gao says might not be true because she later reveals that like I've had all these kind of like torture methods and stuff put on me, so stuff like that doesn't really work. But she does start saying stuff when they give her the truth serum. She says something like Danny's mother is the one that she knew, not the father, and stuff like that. And Harold had something to do with all this. And I'm sure we'll figure out what happens in the future. That's what really solidifies that I think Harold is going to be the bad guy, the main bad guy. Which, to be fair, when you look at him in the trailers or you just look at David Wyndham, you go, yeah, that's probably going to be the villain. But I was actually really happy that they weren't making him the villain at first, where he was actually kind of cool. But I guess now, because he died and came back, now he's going to be the villain. As you could tell in this episode, because he ends up killing his assistant, which we see occasionally here and there. He's like kind of like the nerdy, dweebish type. He looks like he should be in that show Silicon Valley. And he gets moited. He gets murdered hard by Harold. Harold offers him ice cream because they had a conversation earlier about, like, what would you do if you lived forever? And the stupid dweeby guy's just like, I'd eat ice cream all day, dwee. And Harold didn't like that answer. But Harold just lost his son. His son's like, screw you, I'm out. So I guess he's trying to pal around with this assistant guy. And he brings him a bunch of ice cream. And the kid is like, do you have vanilla? I don't really like all these other flavors. Which is stupid. He shouldn't have said that anyway, because he's already the dweeby type anyway. I don't know why he's just like, I don't like this shit. And then he gets murdered for it with a ice cream scoop. And he's begging, like, kill me. He's just like, fucking die, motherfucker. That's why I like Harold. Harold doesn't like people when they don't die, it seems like. Yeah, that's when before in like episode 7 when he's like stabbing that one dude over and over again and he just slits that one dude's throat. He just likes when people die quickly. All right. Which actually wouldn't make sense why he would stab that guy multiple times, but I like he's no nonsense is what I'm trying to say, and he bludgeons that guy to get to death. They're making it seem like he is going to be the villain, but he might have like a two-faced thing where he has two different personalities. Because right when he kills Kyle, that's his name, the assistant, he's like, "What have I done? Oh no, Kyle." What else happened? Colleen is poisoned. There was a fight scene in the last episode where Colleen was poisoned by a sword blade, and now they have to get some guy named, what's his name? Sensei, aka Bakudo, who knows how to get the poison out of her. He knows that Danny can, so Danny uses his Iron Fist, and I wrote this, Iron Fisted the poison out of Colleen. Pretty much transferred the poison from Colleen to him is really what he did. What else happened? Joy and Harold finally met again, which was a decent scene. It was some good acting. Harold is happy to see his daughter again, but of course that might have huge implications in the future because Harold's not supposed to see his daughter anymore, or the hand will come and kill the daughter. Ward is arrested. Harold put a lot of drugs in his car, so he got caught by the police, and now he's in the same mental asylum that Danny is in. Also, Ward was actually looking for a way to kill Harold, even though Harold is pretty much immortal now. And he goes to the leader of the Hatchet Men, and the leader of the Hatchet Men says, "Hey, man, there's a story about a guy that's kind of like Harold, where he started going crazy and killed his family or something or whatever." A lot of stuff happened in this episode that I felt like was needed. But anyway, the episode ends with the whole Iron Fist, the poison out of Colleen. So anyway, that was episode 9. A lot of stuff happened, so that was a longer video than I thought it was going to be. But anyway, I'm going to go watch me some episode 10. So it was a good episode. Episode 9 was good. It had some good stuff, some good scenes, some good-ish dialogue, considering how bad the dialogue is here and there. There's some acting, like the guy that plays Bakuto. I don't know about him yet. It was a pretty bad line that he said in this one. Help her, like, I don't know. It was pretty wooden for the most part, but for the most part, it was a decent episode with some good character moments. I give it a 7.5. So anyway, let's go on to the next episode.